Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Dojo Live recap show. That means it's Monday again, and today is Monday, March 28th, 2022. This is Tulio Sergusa broadcasting from a rainy and windy Southern California. And joining
Nice.
me is America Guerrero, who's in Mexico City. Hi, America. Welcome back.
Hey, it's nice to see you, Tulio.
So we're going to recap last week's live conversation. We have a show every day, Tuesday through Friday. Sometimes it's a rebroadcast show, but for the most part, we have a live show every day at 12 o'clock noon. And sometimes we've been adding a show at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the design thinking segment. So last week we had 3 live shows. The first show we talked with John Sockell, who's the COO and co-founder at Limbix Health. And we talked about the role of digital treatments in the adolescent mental health crisis. It was an interesting show. I missed that show. I was in a business trip, but I'm looking forward to talking about it. And then we talked about revenue ops and revenue marketing, the emerging practice of unifying go-to-market operations. And that was a design thinking segment with Daniel Raskin, who's the co-founder, chief product officer, and chief marketing officer at Mperativ. And finally, we spoke with, we had the show twice. The first time we had this show, there was some technical glitch and we were able to reschedule it. So I'm glad we did, because it was a very good conversation. We talked with Rob Palumbo, who is the CEO at OutPoint. And we talked about AI-powered media mix modeling built for the post-iOS 14 reality. All very good shows. Which of these 3 stood out the most for you, America, and why? And if they all stood out, great. Just remember, we only have 10 minutes.
Well, yeah, the design thinking show, I liked it the most. Well, the 3 topics were really interesting, but with this show, with this empathy element, I really liked it because I was able to learn more about what the product does. Well, that the guest told us since the beginning, since what was the question that they wanted to solve with this product. I mean, he was talking about this marketing, sales environment, and how CMOs have like impact when they want to use this product. So he basically told us like empathy was a really good element which they started with interviews. They wanted to get to know like the necessity out there, how they started to collecting data, and then they build the product based on those interviews. So everything was about feedback, and I really like this kind of culture because they do this every week, and they are the startup. So basically the way they are starting is like a really good step. Am I missing things? I mean, they got data, they got these angry emotions from customers. This guest had this background where he wanted to reach another level. His co-founder, he worked with Salesforce, so he had another background. So I like it a lot. What about you, Tulio, with this show?
Well,
You
yeah,
were
look, the reason I love doing the design thinking show is because we dig into the why, and we look to understand how companies are aligning around what the users or the end customers or people. At the end of the day, it's people, right? Whether it's a customer or an employee, how do you go about listening to people and really hearing what they need and aligning to their emotional needs, not just the transactional needs? And there's some companies who masterfully do this, and it's not by accident. Many of them designed this way. So that's what we're talking about, is how to leverage things like emotional intelligence and empathy to better design your products, better design your organizational structure. So if you missed that show, check it out. You just go on dojo.live and you can type in the search box design thinking, and all the design thinking shows will pop up, or any topic that interests you. Chances are, over 400 plus interviews, there'll be something that interests you. So dojo.live, it's that simple. That's the URL. So in the conversation with John Sockell of Limbix Health, I wasn't in that interview, but I found the topic really timely. I have three kids. One of them is an adult who's going to be 28 this year. And then I have two others. One is 12 and one is 5. So adolescent health hits near and dear to me, especially mental health. I remember
Yes.
as a kid, the thing I had to worry about growing up in New York City was whether I had the real Pumas or the real Adidas, and the pressure you got if you ended up buying the imitation. I mean, I'm oversimplifying the pressures that were real issues back then, but today it's a lot more complicated. There's so many more pressures these kids have, so many more cultural elements that inevitably their mental health is getting pummeled. And so, what are the tools that are accessible? Most psychologists, for example, will not treat someone under 18 or under 13. So you kind of don't have a lot of tools or even
Yeah.
therapies for adolescents who are often struggling to deal with a lot of life's pressures that, as a young man, I didn't have to deal with when I was their age. So having digital technologies, digital treatments is to help with adolescent mental health is critical for both the adolescent and the parents who now have these tools at their disposal, at their fingertip. There's some good that can come out of these things. I just found it very interesting and also inspiring to see how people are actually doing some good things for profit. You often hear not
Yeah.
doing good thing, but there's people who are doing good things for profit. We had the show with 70 million jobs a week or so ago. Someone is actually helping people who've had a criminal record land.
Humanity itself.
So, if you're a company that wants to do good, you can do good for profit. You don't have to be a nonprofit to do good for profit. So that's what was encouraging to me.
Yes.
What about the conversation with Rob Palumbo? What did you think about that?
Well, I was kind of there. Yeah. I really liked it. I really liked this new perspective about the reality. How he said like post iOS 14 reality. So it was something that I learned a lot about the different kind of verticals that out there that are really adapting to this new reality. How innovation is really important to keep going, to keep providing technology, the values. I really liked it. What else? I was there.
Well,
Yes.
what was interesting is the fact that we were hurling down this path where there was no privacy, because
Exactly.
phone was a perpetually connected device. And now with iOS 14, Apple changed the game. They put the power back in each one of us to decide what we want to expose and what we don't want to expose of ourselves. So marketers kind of got hit with a 2x4 right between the eyes about the kind of information they used to have access to that they don't anymore. So you have to be very creative and smart on how you apply your spend, your advertising and marketing dollars, and the ability to model things using AI to see the potential ROI of different scenarios is going to empower marketers and advertisers in a way that wasn't even available even when they had access to all that data.
Yeah.
So
And
congratulations to Rob and the team at OutPoint for building that.
yeah, and it's changing so fast. Like every month, you need to be adapting to this every single month. But yes,
Absolutely. All right. So, what do we got coming up this week, America? We have a few shows this week. Let's see if we can squeeze in all the announcements in the next 45 seconds.
yeah. So Bill Cesar Lippi, he's the CEO and co-founder at Survey. He is going to be talking about building a company in the 2020 versus 2000s. This show is going to be on March 29, so don't miss it at 12 p.m. And then we have another show with Carrie Breeze, CEO and co-founder at NowRx. The topic is going to be the tech power pharmacy for of the future. And that one is going to be on March 30 at 10 a.m. with our and the design thinking segment. And then the same day we have Adam Gordon, instructor at IT Pro TV. Is the show is going to be the same day at 12 p.m. and he's going to be talking about preparing for today's security landscape. So that's what we have.
Excellent. Just a minor little correction. The Design Thinking Show will be Thursday, the 31st.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to having that conversation because they have reinvented the pharmacy. So come check out the show, but come back tomorrow at 12 o'clock Pacific. See you all.